Fuck Millie. Fuck Millie. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, ladies. That is like the best endorsement ever for these people to tell me F me. That's amazing.
Our body, my choice. We will no longer permit it. Our body's our choice. Standing up, saying that the body's our choice. If the Roe court had the president knowledge that we have now, they would understand that
This is Millie Weaver. We are here in Washington, D.C., outside the Supreme Court. There are protests taking place right now because the Supreme Court justices are about to hear the June Medical Services versus Russo case, which could overturn Roe versus Wade in the future. Let's go talk to some of these protesters and pro-lifers to see what their opinions are on this matter. There's literally two different microphone podiums, and there's the pro-life side, and then there's the pro-abortion side, and they're both right next to each other trying to drown each other out. This is sound warfare out here right now, guys. There's a big speaker over there. There's another big speaker over there. Both sides are shouting and yelling. This is a hot button issue. Let's go talk to them. Why do you want to keep abortion legal?
Because it's a basic human right.
For who?
For the woman who is alive and carrying a fetus.
So what about the baby's human right? Do you think they should have human rights?
I don't qualify them as a baby if they're not out of the womb. If your life, if your existence depends on the person who is housing you, then you're not a human being.
Okay, so what about somebody on life support?
Their life isn't dependent on another human being.
It is dependent. If you were to turn those machines off, stop caring for them, they would die.
Their life depends on the machine that's keeping them alive.
Yeah, but it depends on humans.
It's a different thing.
So what about newborn babies? You can't just leave a newborn baby on its own.
It's a different thing. It's a different thing.
Okay.
I'm not arguing you should have an abortion at 8 months. That's a different argument. But if you are early in your pregnancy, and again, there's argument over when a fetus is viable. I was just talking to this young lady about that. But it, again, is your basic human right to decide what you do with your body.
Should we allow third trimester abortions to be legal? Why should we allow abortion to be legal? Okay, so she doesn't have any answers. Okay. Why should we allow abortion to be legal?
We shouldn't.
Okay, so you're part of the pro-lifers? Okay, so why do you think we shouldn't?
Because I think it inherently hurts women, hurts children, it hurts society, hurts our culture. We're a culture of death, and if anything shows you the way that the pro-abortion side talks, it's all about their themselves, nothing about other people, and we're just here. Why we're here isn't really even a pro-life or pro-choice thing. We're here to protect women, to make sure that if they do choose to make that choice, that they're not suffering from it more than just the psychological and mental issues.
Why do you guys think abortion should remain legal?
Of course it should. It's a basic human right.
For who?
For all people.
For all people?
Yes.
Including the baby?
I don't care to answer your question.
Okay, I mean, where's the human rights for the baby?
It's not considered a baby until it's viable. So
Okay.
I really don't want to talk to you. Thanks.
What is it considered if it's not a baby? So it's not considered a baby, they say. It's not. I mean, this is classic dehumanization. What are you out here supporting, since you're going to follow me around? What do you think about the people who would say that, what about the baby's right? Should we consider that?
Sure, but our federal government shouldn't.
Okay. So there shouldn't be any protection for people's lives by the government?
For people's lives, yes.
For people's lives. Okay, so you don't consider it a person?
Legally, no.
Legally, no. Okay, so why? Why is it not a person?
Why is it a person?
What about human DNA, heartbeat?
My fingernails have human DNA.
Okay, but do your fingernails have a heartbeat? I mean, do your fingernails have its own unique genetic code?
We don't need to have this conversation. We're not going to get anywhere with
Oh, wait, here, can I hold this? Can I interview you?
No, you can't.
Why not?
Because it's my property. It's my property. Okay, so here we go. Here we go, guys.
Yeah, here we go. This is
not
what you
respecting
expected.
other people's property. So you're celebrating abortion.
Fuck yes, I'm celebrating abortion. I had one a month ago, and it was fucking great.
God, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I haven't told a lot of people.
Also, can I have a hug?
Yes,
I love you. How have you been?
Good.
So good to talk.
Are we still interviewing?
No, I'm just showing people what you guys are out here doing.
Right, I'm sure you are, and then you're gonna be like, look at these evil abortion people on your stupid fucking website.
I don't need to say any of that.
All right, well, thank you.
You guys are just showing people how you are.
Happens is one less person that Alex Jones can sell supplements to, and I think that's your real point.
Look at her. Take a look at her earrings here. She's got crocodiles eating babies. Like, really? I mean, you think that's classy? The crocodile eating the baby?
Adorable.
You think it's adorable?
I think they're adorable.
I mean, did you make those?
Not babies, they're fetuses.
Wait, are you triggered?
Did you make those?
I want the video to go trigger.
You can look on Pinterest maybe, and you can maybe find them there.
Okay. So
I wish I was
you bought them on
pregnant, but
Pinterest.
Did I
So
buy them?
are those babies or fetuses?
So the only place you exist online is InfoWars. You just proved it. Like Pinterest doesn't
These
work.
girls are obsessed with InfoWars, and you're also obsessed with supplements. I think you guys should actually try them. They might do good for you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is there an MLM?
Do you take supplements?
Can I join your downline?
Do you take supplements?
Is an abortion pill considered a supplement?
Okay. So they don't take supplements, guys. I take supplements.
Supplemented me not having a
They don't.
baby.
I take supplements. They don't. They take abortion pills.
We are out here supporting abortion rights and safe practices for women's health care.
Okay. So do you know what law people are protesting right now? I mean, the case. What do you know about the case?
Yes, this case is June v. Russo, and it's about Louisiana access rights and abortion rights.
Okay. So it's demanding that women, that are going to go to these abortion clinics, that these abortion providers have the ability to admit the women to the hospital. Do you think that that's important for women to be able to have that right?
The fact is that abortion is a very safe and effective means of contraception and surgical procedures that people need at different times in their lives. Any way to protect that right and that availability for choice is something that we should protect. So whether or not we talk about how far a clinic is away from a hospital, that's a different decision that has to do with medical service and medical care and does not respect the right of the woman to make that choice for herself.
Okay. But do you think it makes common sense to demand that these abortion clinics and abortion doctors are qualified to do those procedures in the first place and that they have the ability to admit the women? Don't you think that's just common sense, even if they are going to be doing these procedures?
I think if you asked 1,000 people what common sense was, you would get 1,000 different answers and probably 1,001. So I don't think we can use common sense as a way to represent law.
Okay. So do you think it's common sense that every human being with its own heartbeat and DNA should have human rights?
I don't think I would like to answer that question, and I don't think common sense should be a part of this equation. I think it's about safety, access, and human rights.
So what about the safety for the baby in the womb?
You're done here.
What?
You're done here.
Okay, well that's a nice opinion, but I'm not done here. Like I can be here in the public. Are you threatening me? Yeah, are you threatening me?
Bye! We're taking a photo! How rude! Say cheese! We're taking a photo.
We're trying to take a group portrait. If you could piss off. We're trying to take a portrait.
We're trying to film.
Well, that's great. We're trying to take a portrait.
Look at the disruptors.
Don't mind.
Over here. Why don't we talk over here?
You're gonna shove her out.
Don't push me. Don't push me. Yeah, like me standing here interviewing, should I be able to make the choice to stand here and interview? Do women have the choice to have a differing perspective? Do women have the choice to ask hard questions?
You certainly do.
Okay, so I have the right to ask hard questions, but I'm going to be ganged up and surrounded by other women who don't want
have the right to stand
other
next to
women.
you at a rally.
So then don't be upset if I'm asking you questions.
I'm not upset. I'm not answering you, but I'm not upset with you.
You were just answering me. All right, what are you out here supporting?
What's your name?
What are you out here supporting?
I want to know who you are first before I talk.
I'm Millie. Nice to meet you.
Millennial Millie.
Yes, nice to meet you. So your shirt says "Thank God for Abortion." Why should we thank God for abortion?
Because it's a God-given right to do what you want with your body.
Okay. So is it a God-given right to do what you want with somebody else's body?
Well, it's your body.
Okay. So what about the baby's body?
I can't talk to you anymore.
Okay, so does a woman also have a penis if she's carrying a male child? Is it her body?
Lady, stop talking. Go back to the other side.
Isn't it disingenuous to say it's her body when it's not? It's actually factually incorrect to say that it's her body when we're talking about another baby in the body that we're talking about exterminating.
Come down in a hotel tonight, so out of a gender and women's studies class. Isn't that amazing?
Have all of this! All of it! I was allowed bodily autonomy at 15.
Does everyone deserve the power to decide?
His license was suspended.
I don't want to talk to you. I'm sorry.
So when you say everyone deserves the power to decide, who does that include?
Medicine he was allowed to practice was wound care.
Does that include the baby?
Like that, go to find a job.
Where's the baby's decision in any of this? What about the father? Does the father have the right to decide?
In Louisiana. As an atheist, I am proud to support this pro-science law, which upholds abortion to the same high standards as other medical procedures.
Why should abortion be legal?
Abortion should be legal because it's our human right. It's our right to decide when we want to start a family, with whom we want to start a family, how we want to start a family. And I think that people who are capable of getting pregnant should have the ability to make those decisions about those really important parts of their lives and parts of their futures.
Okay, so it makes sense to want to be able to decide when to start a family, when to have kids. I mean, what about contraception and abstinence and doing things to not get pregnant in the first place?
Those are all your rights too, as well as a person.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Is it your right to abort a baby, though?
Protect women! Protect women!
Can you tell us why abortion should be illegal?
Oh, absolutely, because from the very moment that you are human, you have your own unique human rights that no one can take away from you, and that's why abortion should be illegal.
Okay, so what about those that say it's not really a human, it's not, it's just a fetus?
Those who say that are ignoring the science. I've had a number of conversations today with people who cannot defend their beliefs. All they do is they keep saying the same slogans, my body, my choice, but they cannot defend when human life begins. None of them can. So I think it's important that we define that. We define it at the very moment that you're human, from fertilization.
So what about the health of the mother? Some people say the health of the mother is going to be at stake.
Health of the mother cases. Well, this is one of the things, so I work with Students for Life. I'm on campus a lot. This is one of the things that I hear a lot. I think this is a very empathetic argument, but we have to be consistent. We have to remain consistent with what we're talking about. We at the pro-life movement, in the pro-life movement, we need to take care of those women. We need to look for different technological and scientific advances to make sure that they're not put in that place. But if we're to remain consistent, that life should also be protected. And there are are ways with any of the, and people will bring up a lot of different cases with health of the mother. With any of those cases, there are a lot of different ways that we can try to save both. I want to live in a world where doctors treat both as patients and treat both with respect and try to save both rather than taking the life of one to save another. We need to work together to fix all of these different things that might happen to a woman. But honestly, if we're going to remain consistent, we need to treat both as patients, and we need to treat them both with the same respect and care that we would anyone else.
Abortion hurts people. It hurts women. It kills children. I mean, why would you want something like that legal? That's not an option people should have in the first place.
What do you think about the history of abortion? I mean, has it hurt the country or has it helped the country?
I mean, there's definitely loss. I mean, they're human beings, first of all, but there's a huge loss to the economy. There's a huge loss to future potential of people, and ultimately, like we've killed 50 million people. That's a huge loss, a huge emotional loss, a huge economic loss.
Okay, so some people will say, well, what about all these babies? Who's going to take care of them when their mothers don't want them, but they're born?
Well, you try to limit people's suffering, not to suffer themselves. You try to fix problems, not kill people who are suffering.
And I can't thank you again.
So, what do you think about the history with Margaret Sanger and Planned Parenthood and their racial intentions?
I mean, she's absolutely eugenicist. That was her purpose. That's what she was trying to do. She's trying to exterminate people who weren't white. It's very blatant if you just read her works.
Liberty in the pursuit of happiness. And you can have no liberty without.
I mean, what do you think about? What do you think these people over here are thinking, wanting to keep abortion?
I think they're just deluded. They don't realize what the court case is about. This court case is about protecting women and having basic hospital admitting privileges, and they're thinking it's about abortion. They're talking about their rights overall, and they're talking about crazy stuff. Like they're chanting pro-life. You don't care if women die, like crazy stuff like that, when we're the ones standing up to protect women with these regulations.
Can you tell me more about the regulations in this case?
Yeah, so all it is saying a hospital, or I'm sorry, a Planned Parenthood.
What's the name of the case and describe it for the listeners?
It's June Medical Center versus Russo, and all it is the medical center was told they have to have hospital admitting privileges within 30 miles. So if something happens to a woman, they should be able to have somewhere they can take the woman if something happens. And 5 to 10% of the time, abortion goes wrong in some case, whether it's immediate or it's a long-term effect. So we want to make sure these people can be taken care of.
Yeah. I mean, that would make sense given that sometimes even women in labor have complications and need emergency services. Why do you think they're so resistant to that?
The people who are abortionists aren't normal doctors. They don't have the same credentials. They usually have a poor record. And because of that, it's hard to find people who can have admitting privileges who also want to perform abortions. It's the lowest of the low in terms of professionalism.
Pro-life is a lie. They don't care if women die.
Okay, so in what way do they not care that women can die?
What do you mean in what way they don't?
I mean, how do they not care? Like, you're making this claim how? Like, what evidence?
Oh, evidence?
Yeah.
Okay. A woman's right to an abortion is a health right. It's a right of every woman. And because they are saying you do not have that right to choose what you're going to do with your reproductive health and reproductive freedom, that's why we say that they are.
So would you say that maybe we should just make it so abortion's only legal in cases where it's life or death?
Abortion is already legal. If you take away the legality of abortion, then abortion still happens. It just is not safe or legal, and you're going back to the days of the coat hanger.
Would you be willing to concede to only abortion is legal when it's a life and death situation?
No.
So then why use that as the base of your argument if you would not concede to it being different?
I'm not. Abortion is abortion, legal or not. It's going to happen no matter what. If you take away the safety and legality of abortion, women are going to die, period. End of discussion. It has happened for millennia. Abortion is not going away. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no asterisk going, but if you're raped, but if you're this.
Well,
my choice to have an abortion is my choice.
You keep
not
abortion,
yours, not
babies are going to die. 60 million babies have been killed since Roe Vs Wade. What do you think about that?
They're not babies. They're not even born. They're fetuses.
Okay, so you say, your argument is to say they're not babies.
They're not.
So what are they? They're
fetuses.
Okay, what is a fetus? A human fetus?
Is an unborn
human.
An unborn being.
A cluster of cells that have no identity, no body. They're not themselves. They're part of the living body of the person already existing. This is clearly pro-life propaganda, so this is just where it's going to end.
So what about the fact that they have their own unique set of DNA? I mean, they've got their own hearts,
So
their
you
own
think
organs.
that something that doesn't exist yet has more value than women who already exist?
They do exist. They're just inside the belly.
They don't exist.
At what point?
Abortions already have children.
Thank you.
At what point do they exist?
No point.
So right up until birth, she can abort. So right up until birth, a woman has the right to kill the baby.
At the moment of birth, it's born. Why would you kill it?
So the moment before birth, you say it's not
If
a
it's
human?
a medically reason.
Is it a human? Is it a human before it comes out of the vaginal canal? Not at all. Wow, no. So she thinks it's not a human until the moment it comes out of the vaginal canal. I mean, these people are in denial, folks. That's just straight denialism. Denial, denial, denial.
How to get banned from social media in 3, 2, 1. The big tech giants want you to stop spreading the coronavirus. Wait a minute, let me rephrase that. The big tech giants want you to stop spreading unfounded conspiracy theories rejected by the establishment mainstream media. And that means the first casualty of the coronavirus is the truth.
Aren't you interested to know what they don't want you to know? You ought to be.
It is a weapon system.
This is a violation of the Geneva Convention. This is a crime against humanity.
The WHO is up to its eyeballs in biological warfare research.
That's the whole purpose of biological warfare. And they've been caught doing it.
In the latest effort to control the narrative and prevent the outbreak of real, unbiased investigative journalism, the big tech giants are now targeting independent news outlets, or anyone for that matter, who is going against the mainstream and presenting solid evidence that the coronavirus might be a man-made biological weapon developed and manufactured in communist China.
But if you talk about any of this stuff, they'll shut you down on Twitter, on Facebook.
Now get this. Recently, YouTube announced that they were approached by Newsweek, who requested that they delete all the YouTube channels that were just flagged by Newsweek for posting videos about the coronavirus they don't want you to see. YouTube's response? Swift action, of course. They quickly deleted all the video channels flagged by Newsweek magazine as inappropriate, which included the remaining InfoWars proxy channels and the powerful conspiracy empire Natural News. Within hours, Twitter joined in on the purge and slapped down a permanent ban on Zero Hedge for publishing coronavirus conspiracy theories. We'll have none of that.
Twitter has banned the site Zero Hedge from its platform after Zero Hedge published an article that linked a Chinese scientist to the virus outbreak.
Both actions by YouTube and Twitter to delete this information and kill the messenger has been enthusiastically celebrated by the tattletale gatekeepers over at Newsweek. After all, a global pandemic of human origin infecting tens of thousands of people accompanied by a massive government cover-up, that's not a news story. In fact, according to Big Tech, that's none yet.